Hey guys, Scott here. Today I wanted to quickly go over another shower thought idea I had for a type of tournament that I think I would actually enjoy. To me, the thing is like DVD tournaments are actually the highest skill level. They are the pinnacle of skill, but the problem is, like I said in my last video, you don't really get to express your mechanical skill very much in these games. It's mostly your positioning and strategy and macro strategy and all that stuff, which is not, the most fun to watch if you're not super invested in like the players or what's going on, or even if you don't understand high level DBD in general. It's not a very universally watchable thing. However, what is universally watchable is the chase. Even, if you play DBD for 5 seconds, you understand what the chase is. And to me, the chase is the only entertaining part, and it's the only part where you can actually reflect your mechanical skill as both a killer and a survivor. Now, there's, of course, mechanical skills like, setting up the regens, pushing people into dead zones, and things like that. And, that's all well and good, but none of that stuff to me is as interesting as actually watching the chase itself. And the problem with competitive games is that people play very, very safe because they know they can, because they're not pressed for time, really. And so that creates situations where people are not really doing crazy plays, and they're just doing, the absolute safest thing they need to do to win, which of course they are. Well, like, why would you do anything else? So I had the whole idea for a type of chase-based tournament. And it's not really like a 1v1 tournament. It's kind of a little different. Let me go over like basically how it will work. So you would have a team of 4 to 5 players. A killer can play survivor, and a survivor can play killer. So that's where the 4 to 5 comes in. Survivors would be allowed 1 exhaustion perk, and they would bring unbreakable as well. So they would have 2 perks, 1 exhaustion perk of their choice, and they bring unbreakable. So what would happen is all 4 survivors would just kind of run in a corner of the map so they don't get crows to distract anybody. They would just run in a corner. And then the first person would come and sit on one side of Shack, and the killer would sit on the other side of Shack. The survivor would click a flashlight or teabag or whatever to indicate they were ready. Killer would swing to indicate they're ready. And as soon as the killer swings, just like in 1v1 chases, and like 1v1 cowshed shit, that's when the chase begins. And so a timer would start, and then the first survivor can use everything on the map. They can do whatever the hell they want. And as soon as that survivor goes down, timer stops. They use Unbreakable, run back to the rest of their team, run in circles to prevent crows. And then the next teammate cycles in. They go back to the same position, and then they go again. And the timer continues from that exact same point. Now, this is different from 1v1 tournaments, and here's the catch. The map is not being reset during this time. And the whole point of this is to emphasize people not playing safe anymore. So to actually see the, actually impressive plays, people are not going to be allowed to play safe, because if they do, the first guy is going to burn all the resources on the map, and now their second teammate has nothing. So now the whole strategy of what areas have you made a dead zone, which exhaustion perks have you brought? Are you going to go to this hill if you have bounce landing? Okay, this guy will go to that hill. The teams will have to coordinate what they've actually used on the map, and it won't be just a free reset where every pallet is up every time, because that first chase against a safe player is just not interesting to me unless you're like Nurse or something. So additionally, Nurse will just be not allowed whatsoever, because I think based on the distance that the chase starts, Nurse would be able to down people too fast, and it would be kind of boring. Ideally, the killer would be like randomly selected from a pool every time, and obviously both sides will play the same killer. In terms of map, I would prefer like something small like Coal Tower or something like that. Rancid Abattoir, Wrecker's Yard, like the small maps like that. The problem is I cannot stop RNG from fucking people over, no matter what I do. I know there's like kind of like modified clients you can use to like set up map seeds, and that's like Monka-esque shit to me. So if I figure out a way to do that, I would love to. But map RNG is gonna ruin it for somebody no matter what, and there's just simply no avoiding that. But at the very least, people will be able to see the RNG. Like the first survivor that runs will be able to let everyone else know what is on the map. So there'll be some, alleviating it, but I can't think of a way to avoid that entirely. But yeah, I'm curious what you guys think about that. If that would be, to me, that's like the only fun way to run a tournament. The only fun way to participate in one, because you're actually constantly displaying mechanical skill. And that's the part I find interesting. Of course, there is the whole macro skill as well, which is very interesting to a lot of people too. But to me, the only universal interesting thing is the chase. And I think having a type of tournament where the chase is actually based on your efficiency and not how safe you play, because you have to save things for your other teammates, I think that would be interesting. As soon as the fourth survivor goes down, final time is tallied, and then map is reloaded, and then the total times are matched against the total times using the same killers. And the killer's not allowed to use perks at all because, frankly, you would just run Spirit Fury Enduring. Like, you would just run, gimmick perks to make your chases much shorter. Whereas the fact that survivors can use exhaustion perks doesn't matter because the killer's not pressed for time. All it does is create additional strategy that can be used depending on the map that they get. So I'm curious if that's an interesting idea. I just thought about it laying in bed. I'm not sure if that's actually good or not. There might be a giant glaring flaw. If there is, please let me know. I'd love to refine this idea because it's the only type of tournament I could see myself actually running. I'd have to take it not seriously because, like I said, RNG can just fuck someone over completely. But I think it'd be a good time if we focus on the, mechanical fun to watch part. But that's just the idea. Curious to hear what you guys think and give me some feedback on it because I'm looking for it. That's it. Thanks.